Okay, so we've sorted out that we've got the pump that we need to do the job. We've looked at the data sheet. We've looked at the MSDS in relation to what components are in the equipment, or in the paint I should say, to ensure that we keep ourselves safe. Now the important thing to remember is what is the safety equipment I need as far as dress is concerned. Well, ultimately with any paint that you atomize, you will need a mask, gloves, overalls. The other aspect of it is, as I mentioned before, with an airless gun, there is not a glove that this cannot penetrate. So what I want you to remember is that if I put a glove on, it's not going to stop that airless application penetrating the equipment that I'm wearing. So there's no glove that'll actually halt or stem the injection aspect of this particular tip. So the gloves are primarily for solvents and to keep the solvents off me. So my equipment that I need is gloves, of course. There are many different types of gloves we can wear. This particular type of glove is solvent resistant. The solvent resistant glove is designed to, it will soften and it will become pithy in the sense that all the fingers will end up dropping out of them. So the whole idea of this is for washing your equipment up and keeping all the equipment clean. Keeping the equipment clean in this regard is paramount importance. If it's not clean, you can't see if there's any problems with hoses, wear and tear. And the one thing to remember too while I talk about that hose is if you crimp this hose and it stays in this configuration, that means that you've undermined the integrity of the wall braiding of the hose, and the hose is deemed dangerous and should be tagged out. So if you bend this hose or pull on it and crimp the hose, that hose is no longer deemed safe. So it must be tagged out, removed and replaced. So gloves. And the other thing you'll need, of course, is a respirator. So as far as a respirator is concerned, you need a respirator that's pliable enough to mould to the shape of your face. Beards are out. Also too, you'll see you've got different types of filters here. We've got a pre-filter. That captures the majority of the atomization that you're creating within a space. You've got a pre-filter and a gas filter. The A2 type gas filter is adequate enough to stem the propelled solvents and the contaminants contained within that product from coming through the mask to you. They do have a shelf life. They also do have an exposure time. The important thing to remember with these is to keep them divorced from the solvents. So on the mask you've got a pre-filter, which is the white removable section, a particle filter and an A-type gas filter cartridge. So it's designed to eliminate the atomized product coming through to the particle filter. The particle filter has the opportunity to be able to enable free flow air through the gas filter and into the mask. These particular masks must be kept clean. Also too, don't hang that on the machine and leave it there in this toxic environment. When I say toxic, solvents and so forth, primarily because these filters continue to work. So what we do is when we finish for the day, the pre-filter comes off, goes in the rubbish. This section of the mask is wiped clean. Also inside is wiped with the alcohol wipes. Goes in a plastic bag, divorced from the environment. So that when you go to use it again, this hasn't expired by trying to work continually with the contaminants that are within the environment. So the small non-return valves on there, which is just a flap of rubber, it's important that you keep that clean and make sure they are all flat prior to using the mask. If you can smell anything when you put the mask on, it's null and void. Check all of those components and also to change your filters. So when mixing paint, doing anything here, it's important to wear your mask. Remember that when you atomize a product, that's when it's more prolific within the environment, primarily because you've atomized it within the air that you are breathing. You ingest it, you breathe it in, make it very sick. So with your solvents, if you're in a confined space, it's imperative you wear a mask. So this is what we call a half mask. The other type of mask you can use when you're spraying is a glass frontal mask or a full face mask. This one here's got toughened glass. It has the opportunity to be able to be independent of an air-fed system, or it can be an air wash mask. So you can put an air wash attachment on this particular mask, which encloses your face within this environment here, divorced from the contaminants that you're creating. It's important with these that you keep them clean as well. So as you can see, this is toughened glass, so the important thing to remember is don't drop it. Where would I use this mask? Well, you can opt to use this mask all the time. However, in some environments where you're out in the atmosphere and it's a larger environment, you can wear a half-face mask. You've got to remember too that when you utilise a half-face mask that you are still leaving something exposed, and that is your eyes. So the most sensitive part of your body, if you're using a half-face mask, what still exposes your eyes. They will absorb whatever you put in the atmosphere. And the important thing to remember is, as far as the product you're atomizing or spraying, have I checked to see what's in that product? Now the particular product we've got today is a top coat polyurethane or acrylic polyurethane, and it does have a isocyanate catalyst. So isocyanates are very dangerous when atomized, so consequently you'll wear the appropriate equipment to ensure that you are not exposed or exposing yourself or other workmates to the environment that you're creating.